At the beginning of the film, we see two crew members from a horror TV show's production team setting up a shooting set inside a house. Suddenly, the lights go out. They assume there's a problem with the generator. One of them, a guy named Tono, sees the shadow of a woman behind a curtain. Terrified, Tono calls Agos and points, asking who that woman is. Agos also gets scared when he sees her. Outside the house, the rest of the team is rehearsing. Inside, Agos asks the woman who she is, human or ghost. Tono gets so frightened that he wets his pants. Suddenly, the woman disappears. Agos thinks someone is pulling a prank, so he goes to check with a flashlight. Near the pool, strange bubbles start forming in the water. Panicking, Agos calls out to Tono, telling him to come quickly because there's something in the water. As Agos moves closer, a hand suddenly emerges and drags him into the pool. Outside, the show's shooting begins. The presenter announces that today they will reveal the secret of the bloodhouse, the place where a family was brutally murdered years ago and which has since become known as a haunted house. Inside the house, Tono searches for Agos and reaches the pool. When he sees Agos' dead body, he panics and tries to run away. But the main door is locked, and the entity kills Tono on the spot using its powers. Hearing Tono's screams, the rest of the team rushes inside, but they find no one. They think Tono and Agos are just joking. A shaman who is with the team warns everyone that the house is filled with evil energy. Suddenly, the entity attacks and kills two people. Neither the shaman nor the cameraman can escape, and they are also killed. The scene cuts and we see Shafira, Dito, Tanya, and Marcel. The boss starts a meeting and announces that their show, believe it or not, is finally returning after many years. A TV station has agreed to produce 30 episodes, but they first want to see the concept for the new season. The boss orders the team to create a pilot episode. He tells Shafira that she will be the co-host this season. Shafira says she has no experience, but the boss explains that in the first episode, Dito will be the lead host and Shafira will learn from him. He adds that this season will come with a completely new concept and new faces. He asks Shafira to watch the archives to better understand the show. Tanya says that the script is almost finished. Then the boss asks Marcel to prepare and send the budget details. He also gives an important instruction. They must hold auditions to find a paranormal practitioner, a shaman for the show. With that, the meeting ends. In the next scene, Jamal shows Shafira the old stock tapes and master reels of the show. There is a huge amount of footage stored there. They take a few reels and go to the editing room. Inside the editing room, Jamal explains everything to Shafira. He tells her that he needs to finish his own work, so he leaves her there and walks away. Before leaving, he tells Shafira to be careful of the ghost. Shafira sits alone and starts watching the footage. Just then, Dito comes to meet her and says he just arrived. Dito asks if she's done watching the tapes. Shafira says there's only a little left. She adds that the program was really good but scary. Dito asks if she's going home. Shafira refuses, saying she still wants to watch more programs. Then the two say goodbye to each other. Shafira starts watching the tapes again, and before she realizes it, it's already 11 p.m. She books an online taxi to go home and goes to return the tapes to the library. While coming back after placing the tapes, a box suddenly falls down on its own. Written on the box was Rumah Darah, meaning the bloodhouse. At that very moment, the atmosphere there starts to feel heated and strange. As soon as Shafira turns around, she gets scared, but Dudung is standing there. Dudung tells her that her taxi's waiting downstairs. After reaching home, Shafira calls her mother, but she doesn't answer the phone. So Shafira sends her a message saying she has reached home safely and that she loves her very much. Suddenly, Shafira notices that the window has opened by itself. Panicking, she goes to the window, but when she doesn't see anyone outside, she closes it. After Shafira leaves, the same strange woman who was seen at the beginning of the film appears there. The next day at the office, Dito, Marshall, and Tanya notice that the room's door is opening by itself. Just then, a man suddenly shows up and scares them. It turns out this was an audition to find a paranormal practitioner. One guy at the audition claims he can see the ghost of a child there, but the judges reject him because he's lying. Another man claims that she is a restless woman born in 1604, but the judges catch her because the Betawi community didn't even exist at that time. The judges got frustrated because everyone who came to the audition turned out to be a fraud. The three of them discuss that they'll have to report this to Mr. Gang. They were actually looking for a real shaman. Then they remember an old shaman named Chandra. Chandra's phone number is switched off, but Marshall has his address. They decide that Dito will go to that address to look for Chandra. On the other side, Shafira plays that old Believe It or Not episode that fell in the library yesterday, Rumah Darah's record. It turns out to be the recording of the very episode that was being filmed at the beginning of the movie. In the video, we see that when they go inside the house to save August and Tono, the footage suddenly cuts to black. Because of this, Shafira starts looking for the master copy of the recording. She's shocked to discover that there is no master copy of the episode in the archive at all. Out of curiosity, she searches the internet about that house. Just then, the video in the editing room starts playing on its own. Shafira wonders how the video could be playing by itself. Nervously, she walks toward the editing room. She sees someone sitting in a chair playing the video. Shafira thinks it might be Jamal, but when she turns the chair around, she sees no one there. Then her eyes fall on the computer screen, where she watches the rest of the footage and sees that the spirit killed all of them. Seeing this, Shafira is terrified. She runs out of there in fear. While running, she bumps into Dito. Shafira tells Dito that something strange is happening in the editing room and explains everything to him. Dito goes to check, but he finds nothing. He reassures Shafira, saying that maybe she's hallucinating due to exhaustion. He tells her not to think too much about it. Shafira then asks Dito how long he's been working there. Dito says he's been there since Mr. Agan's time, about 2 years. Shafira asks Dito about the bloodhouse. Dito says he's never heard of any episode by that name, and nothing shows up in the database either. Shafira drops the matter, then Dito asks Shafira to go with him to Chandra's house the next day. He explains that Chandra is their former paranormal practitioner. Shafira agrees to go. In the next scene, Dito and Shafira go to Chandra's house, introduce themselves, and we realize this is the same shaman we saw die at the beginning of the movie. How he's alive will be revealed later. Now, Dito asks Chandra to return to the show, but Chandra says he has retired and is now living a normal life. Dito keeps requesting, but Chandra refuses. Before leaving, Shafira asks Chandra about Rumah Darah. Chandra warns her and tells her to never go anywhere near that place. On their way back, Shafira and Dito talk about Chandra's strange behavior. Shafira is surprised that Chandra specifically told them to stay away from the bloodhouse. Now Dito wants to know how Shafira even found out about the bloodhouse. Shafira explains that she found a strange box in the library with a memory card labeled Bloodhouse. She watched the footage, and it was extremely terrifying. She's sure that Chandra was in that video, which is why he didn't want to talk about it. When Dito asks to see the card, Shafira tells him it's in the library. But when they go there to check, the box is gone. Shafira is certain she left it right there. Dito says maybe someone removed it. After that, Shafira goes straight home and falls asleep. But in the middle of the night, someone suddenly knocks on her door. She opens it, but there's no one outside. As soon as she closes the door and turns around, a spirit appears right in front of her. Shafira screams and wakes up. It was just a nightmare. The next morning at the office, Dito notices Shafira looking disturbed and asks what's wrong, but she avoids the question. Soon, Tanya and Marshall arrive as well. Then the boss comes in and starts the meeting, where Marshall presents a new concept and location. The boss says the concepts are good, but they aren't scary enough for a pilot episode. He asks them to find something even better and more haunted, and orders them to submit a report within 2 days. That's when Shafira suggests using the bloodhouse for the first episode. She explains that the house is highly haunted and that the name itself is very eye-catching. The boss becomes interested and asks her to research it and provide details within 2 days. After the meeting, Shafira tells Dito she's absolutely sure the bloodhouse will be the best option for them. Dito reminds her that they don't even know the place. Shafira says she doesn't know the exact address, but she has an idea about the area. They head out immediately to look for it. As they arrive, Shafira feels like she's been there before. After some time, they reach the house. Shafira says this is the same house she saw in the video. Dito looks a bit pale, so Shafira asks if he's okay. But Dito says he's fine, maybe just feeling a little dizzy. He seems quite uncomfortable. They try to go inside. Seeing that the gate is open surprises Dito. Shafira wants to take photos for her presentation. As they step through the gate, they see that the main door is locked. They're about to turn back when, suddenly, the door opens by itself. Dito gets scared and stops Shafira. He feels like something bad is about to happen, but Shafira brushes it off, saying it's probably just the wind, and insists she wants to take photos in daylight. She starts taking pictures and leads Dito upstairs. On the way, Shafira looks at one photo and says, This is the same family that was murdered. She's shocked at how cruel someone could be. Dido keeps staring at the photo in a strange way. When Shafira calls out to him, he snaps out of it and says he feels sorry for the family. Upstairs, Shafira takes a few more photos. Dido still seems very strange. After finishing the photos, they start heading back. On the way, Shafira suddenly stops and begins to tremble. Then we see her eyes turn white, meaning the spirit of the house has possessed her. Old events start flashing before Shafira's eyes. She sees a man and his wife at home when two masked people knock on their door. As soon as the man opens it, they attack and kill him, then murder the woman as well. Just then, their daughter comes home, and the attackers hide. The girl is shocked when she sees her parents' dead bodies. Before she can fully understand what's happening, the attackers go after her. She somehow escapes and runs upstairs, hiding in a room. But one of the masked men grabs her by the throat. The girl hits him with something nearby and tries to escape. But because the main gate is locked, she gets trapped, and the second attacker kills her. Before dying, she curses them, saying that blood will be repaid with blood. Finally, Shafira regains consciousness. Dido asks if she's okay, and then they quickly leave the place. In the next scene, Shafira goes to Chandra and tells him that she went to the bloodhouse. Chandra gets angry because he had clearly told her not to go. Shafira shares her experience, explaining how the house first felt completely deserted and then everything suddenly changed. She says she saw with her own eyes how masked people brutally murdered an entire family. Chandra tells her that she has the power of retrocognition, which allows her to see the past. He also says that there is a very powerful and possibly evil energy inside Shafira. Chandra reveals that 3 years ago, the spirit of that girl killed all of his companions. He was the only one who survived. Shafira then tells him that she saw everything through the bloodhouse memory card. Hearing this, Chandra is shocked because he himself had burned that card. He warns Shafira to be extremely careful. Shafira returns to the office and tells Dido everything. Just then, Mr. Agang arrives for a meeting. During the meeting, Shafira presents her report and photographs. As soon as Agang looks at the file, he becomes serious and calls Dido alone into his office. Shafira starts to think that she may have made a mistake. Agang comes out and orders Marshall and Tanya to find a new location along with Dido. Shafira protests, but Agang threatens her harshly and tells her to shut down the Bloodhouse project. After the meeting, Agang asks Shafira what she really saw there. Shafira says she saw the killers. At that moment, her eyes fall on a tattoo on Aging's hand. It is exactly the same tattoo she had seen on the hand of one of the masked killers. Shafira is terrified. She runs away to the library and calls Dido. Aging follows her there, locks the door, and snatches her phone. When Dido gets no response, he asks Marshall to drop Shafira back at the office. Aging realizes that Shafira has figured everything out. Then, seeing a photo of Shafira's father on her phone, Aging tells her that he was a friend of her father, Wahyu. But when Wahyu tried to hand him over to the police, Aging killed him. Shafira screams, "What did you do to my father?" Suddenly, Shafira's eyes turn white and she gets a vision. She sees that Wahyu, Joko, and Ageng were business partners. Joko is the same man whose murder Shafira had seen earlier. They trusted Ageng, but he betrayed them and stole the money. So Wahyu and Joko confront Ageng and question him, but Ageng refuses to admit anything. They threaten to hand him over to the police and leave. After that, Ageng makes a phone call and orders someone to kill Wahyu, Shafira's father. That man wearing a mask attacks Wahyu from behind and kills him. Then the two of them go to Joko's house and kill him as well. When Shafira regains consciousness, she screams at Ageng and calls him a murderer. She says that Ageng not only killed her father, but also wiped out Joko's entire family. Ageng finally confesses that he is the killer. In his defense, he says that he worked extremely hard for the business, but because of one small mistake, they threw him out. Saying this, Ageng starts strangling Shafira and says that he trusted her, but her curiosity ruined everything. Now Shafira will have to die just like her father. Just then, Dido starts knocking on the door from outside and tries to open it. Somehow, Dido gets inside and tries to save Shafira. A brutal fight breaks out between Ageng and Dido. While beating Dido, Ageng says that he hates ungrateful people and that Dido must die too. Ageng attacks with a knife and stabs Dido in the stomach. Before delivering the final blow to Shafira, he says that everything should end like this and tells her to give his regards to her father. Before he can stab her, Dido steps in and saves Shafira. This enrages Aging, and he pushes his hand into Dito's wound. At that moment, Shafira stands up, possesses, and stabs Aging. We then see that it was actually the spirit of the dead girl who did this. In a flashback, we learn why Aging had called Dito during the meeting. Aging was scolding Dito harshly and asking how Shafira found out about that house. Dito says he didn't know that Shafira would take him there. Aging abuses Dito, calling him stupid and trash. This reveals that the second killer working with Aging was none other than Dito himself. With this, the story ends here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Also subscribe to this channel for more stories like this.